Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Man's No Bull Beer Reviews. Today I have another beer from Oskar Blues Brewing Company out of, I always forget the city that they're in. I know they're in Colorado, but Longmont, Colorado, sorry. Um, so I did the Java Barrel Aged 1050. This is another variant of the Barrel Aged 1050. This is Jahvanilla. So I'm guessing you can probably tell by that name without even reading it here. So it's barrel aged 1050 with coffee and vanilla. It's interesting. Every time they make these different variants, they all have a different ABV. I'm guessing it's always it should still be the same true 1050 base. It just has to do with how much was pulled out of the barrel. But I mean, to go from 10.5% to 14, so this is 14.3. To go from 10.5 to 14.3 is a pretty big. I mean, that's 3.8 ABV. I mean, that's almost a full like session beer's worth of alcohol just in barrel aging. So if they didn't brew like a bigger beer, then that's just correct. These must have been super wet barrels. Yeah, that's about it. And this one, so that other one, the Java one I did recently, that was kind of old. It was like a year and a half old, so I didn't know how the coffee was going to hold up, and it held up fantastically. This one is from April of 2019, and it's June 2019. So this one's fresh. I actually went and got this a couple weeks after it was released. I happened to be in Asheville, so I picked it up. So I'm pretty excited for this because I had it on tap and I really liked it, but I've not tried the can yet. And I really like the can of the Java one too. So let's see. I guess they want to follow suit with all the other brewers as far as putting their biggest beers in their biggest packaging, which I think is absolutely silly, but it is what it is. I would much prefer to see regular, or not even regular 1050, but just like Dale's and other stuff in these, and then the 1050 and barrel aged 1050 in like the 12 ounces or maybe even smaller cans, but it is what it is. Everyone wants big shareable beers, so that's what you get with this. As you can see, it pours almost like a jet black color. I mean, there's not even like a reddish tinge around the edge. It's all black. With a nice, I would say, tan head. It's definitely beyond beige for sure. Oh, man. So I'm definitely getting a lot of booze. It's interesting. It's almost coming off more as rum than bourbon. Maybe it's just because it's like I'm just getting like neutral spirit versus like the woody oaky character of bourbon. But I definitely get a lot of like fudgy character in the vanilla for sure. And I would say like I get that aroma of when coffee and bourbon mix in like coffee stouts, but I'm not getting. I don't think I would pull out like necessarily that like there was a ton of coffee in this. Yeah, that is a big beer. Man, wow. That's crazy. The flavor is so I was gonna say two dimensional, but that makes it sound simple. But it's just the front of the swallow is so much different than the back end. Like the front, I'm getting a ton of spirit, a ton of vanilla, a little bit of like a dark fruit, like fig and raisin character, and then the back end is just all like fudge and a little bit of chocolate. But it's like, or sorry, fudge and a little bit of coffee, but it's like dark chocolate fudge. Man, this is a massive beer. I mean, this honestly tastes. I guess at this strength, that's kind of a detriment. But this tastes bigger than Bourbon County does, in my opinion. Like Bourbon County Vanilla or Bourbon County Coffee. The ABV is huge, and just the body itself is like bigger and thicker than those two. It is really hefty. I mean, this beer is perfect proof that. I mean, it is sweet. I'll say that it is sweet, but it's not over the top like some stouts today. This is proof that you can still have a big, chewy beer with tons of flavor without it being like over the top sweet. Like by today's standards, this isn't that sweet. I'm sure if I had this like 6 or 7 years ago, I would think it was like insanely sweet. That's just how things change. That's so crazy. Like, now that I've been accustomed to the alcohol and the like the fudgy character, I'm picking up a lot of like dark cherry skins and almost like a port character, like an oaky port character. Sorry, my eyes itchy. Man, that's good. So, I bought, when I was there, I got a can of this and the Java from my buddy. And he drank both of them in the same night, which is crazy to me, but he is a monster. And he said he thought he liked the Java one better, and I'm just going back and forth in my head which one I like better. This one I would say is probably overall more complex, just because of the added vanilla. And I feel like there's some more complexities with the malts too. I wasn't really getting all that like really nice dark fruit character in the other one. But I feel like the other one was more drinkable, if that's a thing for a 13.5% beer. This one, it is so big. I mean, it's gonna take me like 2 hours to drink this, I'm sure. Excuse me, even though I'm drinking it somewhat quickly now for the video, so I can get flavors and describe it. When I'm just sitting there drinking it by myself off camera, I won't drink it this fast. This one, it is absolutely delicious, but it is so hot. I mean, it doesn't taste like shitty alcohol or shitty bourbon, but it is just really, really hot. So that's my only complaint. I will say, so overall, I probably would say I like the Java better. But this is still a very, very good beer. Honestly, if you didn't tell people this from Oskar Blues and they just tried it, they would think it was like absolutely amazing. I know that just because I know people like sugar and booze, and a lot of vanilla flavor, and this is all of that. It's not, like I said, it's not over the top sweet, but it still is sweet, and it is very hot. But with all that being said, this is still absolutely a buy for me. It would be unless this was like outrageously priced, like $30 a can or something, it would be a buy for me no matter what. But I think was either $12 or $13 for a can of this, which, I mean, It's almost the size of a bomber. It's like halfway between a 500 milliliter and a bomber, basically. But if you consider that, if you rounded it up a little bit and said this was like a $15 bomber or something, of a big giant barrel aged coffee and vanilla stout that was pretty good, I would say by today's standards that's a very good price. So it's definitely a buy for me. Now I don't know that I would say I wish I bought more, just because I have so many other beers to drink on this channel and drink in general. But if I'm there again and they still have it, I will definitely buy at least one more, just to have to share with people, because this is a really, really great beer. Kudos to Oskar Blues for still making these bangers, even though they're now like a pretty big company. But I could say the same thing about Cigar City, and they're part of the same thing, so it makes sense. I think that's all I got in this one. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.